Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome live inside our Roker studio for the fastest moving 30 minutes in sports talk, as we just took a look at that excellent intro video,
Yes.
Newly made, incredible job. I gotta ask you guys first, I'm Jacob Bradley, almost forgot about that. Jacob Bradley, Kyle Spizak, Garrett Chan. How are you guys today?
I'm doing pretty great, Jacob. How about yourself?
I am gonna say this, not as inauthentic as the first time. This might be the first time you've ever asked me how I am, and I'm doing splendid. Garrett, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Today did not start off too well, but once again, shout out to Brian in the back for making that wonderful intro.
Yeah, you did it. You did a very good job. You did a very good job.
Amazing.
The whole crew as a whole. We're just gonna shout them out. They're great.
Yeah.
But anyways, without further ado, let's get this episode started as always with some Major League Baseball. So Garrett, as I say every week, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Jacob. This past Saturday, Major League Baseball announced the Platinum Glove Award winners in both the American League and National League. Let's take a look at the two winners. In the American League, Carlos Correa won his first Platinum Glove, leading baseball with a +21 defensive run saved. Correa adds another award to his resume as he heads to free agency after declining the qualifying offer from the Astros on Monday. In the National League, Cardinals third baseman Nolan Arenado won his fifth Platinum Glove Award. As you can see, he won 4 from the 2017 to 2020 seasons with the Rockies and his first as a member of St. Louis. Both the Houston Astros and the St. Louis Cardinals were named best defensive teams. On Monday, Major League Baseball announced that Randy Arozarena of the Tampa Bay Rays and Jonathan India from the Cincinnati Reds were winners of the Jackie Robinson Rookie of the Year Award in the American League and National League, respectively. Arozarena becomes the fourth Rays player to win Rookie of the Year honors, with the last player being Will Myers back in 2013. Leading all rookies in hits with 145, Arozarena also put up a remarkable 20 home run, 20 stolen base season. As for Jonathan India, he becomes the 8th Reds player to win the award and the first since Scott Williamson back in 1999. With MLB's collective bargaining agreement set to expire in just a couple of weeks, there has been a flurry of player transactions over the past few days. Also on Monday, a starting pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez and the Detroit Tigers agreed to a 5-year, $77 million deal. The deal includes a player opt-out after the 2023 season, along with $3 million in incentives. Earlier this month, the Red Sox extended a qualifying offer to Rodriguez, but will instead get a third-round pick in next year's MLB draft as compensation. With this move, the Tigers have made it clear that they plan to contend in the near future. Jacob, you're a Red Sox fan. What did you think of this move?
Now, I am a bit sad to see him go, but in all actuality, I'm really not, because he had, like I said, he had his big years and down years. Won that 19 game season back in 2019 when the team finished in third place, I believe. He's very hot and cold. He came into this year off the arm injury, or off the just injury in general. Cold. Then he got a little bit hot as the season went along. I think that's what earned him that $77 million. But he's a player that will fit nicely with this Detroit team. Getting along with Casey Mize and some of the young guys in that rotation. So I think all in all, very good move for Detroit.
It's going to be interesting to see how Eduardo Rodriguez fits into the starting rotation. We move on to the next player transaction as the New York Mets hired Billy Epler to be their next GM. Billy Epler was previously the GM for the Los Angeles Angels and spent 10 years with the Yankees organization.
That is a Garrett Chan piece of news if I've ever heard that before.
Yes. Billy Epler, it's going to be interesting to see how he fits into this new role, especially considering that the Mets still have yet to fill a president of baseball operations position. The Mets, of course, had fired acting GM Zach Scott a few weeks ago. And finally, it pains me to read this, as was reported earlier today, that starting pitcher Noah Syndergaard will be joining the Los Angeles Angels on a 1-year, $21 million deal. Over the past 2 years, Syndergaard only pitched 2 innings after undergoing Tommy John surgery prior to the 2020 season. For the Angels, this move strengthens a starting rotation that has been a glaring weakness aside from Shohei Ohtani. Since the Mets extended Syndergaard a qualifying offer, they will receive either a second or third round pick as compensation in the MLB draft. So, yeah. That was difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I could hear the pain in your voice, my friend, but this is an Angels move if I've ever heard of one. Signing a big-name free agent to go to Los Angeles, only to finish a couple games behind the Oakland Athletics once again.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I have just a list of players that over the years that I can remember that the Angels have signed a big contract. Josh Hamilton, Zach Cozart, Jose Iglesias, Anthony Rendon, Syndergaard, I think fits right into that as guys that are going to show up, have okay seasons, but get overpaid. And hey, the best move that they could have done, signing him to 1 year, see what he can do if he stays healthy, and then readdress things in the offseason.
Rebuild his value.
Yes.
Before we head to break, it's now time that we guess. Who's that athlete? This week's mystery athlete is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, has 1,921 career points, played 27 seasons in the NHL for 9 different teams, and he has one of the greatest mullets of all time. Stay tuned on the other side to find out who it is.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions from Tanner Spink.
Go to 2-1.
2 with 6 and 10 on the year.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you. Your barber. Your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on WTOP 10. Before the break, I asked you guys to figure out who's that athlete with the silkiest mullet. Guys, do you have any answers? Jacob, Garrett, what's your guys' answers?
I couldn't believe you picked the hockey one. That was a complete shocker to me this week. So I'm going to go with one of like the 3 old hockey names I know, and I'm going to say Mario Lemieux.
Every time someone asks me about hockey, I just think Wayne Gretzky.
Well, unfortunately, both of you are wrong. He did play with Lemieux. It is Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah, I've heard of Jaromir Jagr. Okay, I'm not going to come up with excuses. I've heard of Jaromir Jagr. Great player. Is he on the Hall of Fame yet? He should be.
Look at that mullet, though.
But he retired 3 years ago.
That's it. That's right, yeah. But what a mullet from that guy. But let's head over now to the NFL, where there was a couple of big headlines during Week 10. Last Thursday, veteran quarterback Cam Newton signed a 1-year deal to return to the Carolina Panthers. Just a few days later, he led those said Panthers to a 34-10 victory over the Arizona Cardinals, scoring 2 touchdowns in their first 2 offensive drives. Guys, what did you make of this move and his first game back with his former team? Garrett, I'll start with you.
Well, Cam Newton has returned to his old team. He took to the Super Bowl against the Broncos 5-6 years ago. Panthers, they have struggled in the quarterback situation. Sam Darnold, we thought he was the answer. First few weeks of the season, he looked amazing. Next thing you know, he's hit rock bottom. So Cam Newton, he brings a lot of energy, brings a lot of life to this Panthers team. And he's going to fit in with an offense that has Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson. So it's going to be interesting to see how Cam Newton is going to lead this Panthers team down the stretch.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Kyle, as our resident Patriots fan, what are your feelings on Cam Newton? Because this was kind of, the Patriots getting rid of him and going with Mac Jones was kind of a little bit left field move. So I just want to get your opinions on Cam Newton.
Them going with Mac Jones was the right move.
It was.
I think it's played out through that season as that. But I don't know, because I didn't think he was going to get signed, let alone to the team that,
got rid of him.
Yeah. But, he comes out, he rushes a touchdown and throws one. He only goes 3 for 4 for 8 yards, so they didn't have him play a huge role in the game. But still, that's 2 more touchdowns than Cam's had in quite a long time. And last season for the Patriots, he did not look good. So the fact
No.
he comes out and puts 2 up in his first game back, not bad at all.
I find it very wholesome and heartwarming that he's back with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Nice little return story.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Homecoming.
nice to see that. And, I mean, he's all right. I could see him fitting into that role as kind of doing what Sam Darnold's strengths haven't been this year, like kind of in a Robert Griffin III type move where he's just going to come in, rush the ball on third and short, give some break off of McCaffrey. But we'll just have to see how that plays out because that wasn't the only big headline that we saw this past week in the NFL. As on Thursday, Odell Beckham Jr. signed a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Rams. Last night on Monday Night Football, Odell made his debut, but only recorded 2 catches and 18 yards in a 31-10 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle, what was your reaction to this move and last night's game as a whole?
Well, I discussed it a bit with Garrett on my radio show early this morning, and it's just Odell, like, he's a good receiver, but I just don't like him because we were talking about earlier, he has one of the highest dropped rate percentages out of all the receivers in the NFL. He gets for how many targets he has, he should not drop as many passes as he does. I think he's, after the catch, I think he got too flashy with it and tries making simple passes look more extravagant than they really are, and that leads to drop passes. Not to mention, he only had two passes targeted to him, or 2 passes called last night, and one of them was in like the first 5 minutes of the game. So, but they targeted Cooper Kupp 11 times and Odell twice throughout the game. So that's what his problem was in Cleveland, and it looks like it's just going to keep repeating. And you have Matt Stafford too, and he's still only targeting twice, so that's saying something.
Yeah, Garrett, I want to get your thoughts as well.
I was surprised that OBJ went to LA. I said last week that I thought he would be going to the Raiders or the Chiefs, but seeing him on an LA team that's already loaded with talent, and then next thing you know, Robert Woods goes out with a season-ending injury, it just made sense to see why they would make that move.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be more of a case of Odell Beckham's going to have to fit in with the Rams offense rather than the Rams are going to have to fit Odell Beckham's offense. Like, I feel like he's going to come in there and he's probably just going to have to rely on something that might be something in his career as a second receiver. But let's move on from the past into the present now as we'll take a look ahead to Week 11. That was false by me. I would just say move on into the future instead. But Week 11 action is ahead as we look into the NFL. As on Thursday night, it is a rematch of the infamous Super Bowl 51 when the 6-4 New England Patriots head to Atlanta to play the 4-5 Falcons. The Patriots are coming off of a big 45-7 win over the Browns on Sunday, while the Falcons will look to rebound from their blowout 43-3 loss on Sunday against the Cowboys. So I just want to get your guys' quick opinions on those games.
It's going to be Mac Jones is going to be on fire.
Mac Jones last night, 19 for 23, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mac Jones wins it.
Mac Jones is the guy. Mac Jones is the guy. But that does it for our coverage of the NFL. As always, coming up after the break, we'll talk about the NBA and kicking it with Kyle. We'll see you after this.
I'm a lot more confident and a lot more sure of my abilities. At Oswego is where I've really found myself and became the person I am. You work hard and you play hard. I love the environment of SUNY Oswego.
Made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on WTOP 10 inside the Al Roker studio. At this point in the NBA season, we are now starting to get to the idea of what teams were an illusion and who's the real deal. As we took a look behind the standings entering tonight's games, two of these teams that are a real deal, the Golden State Warriors and the Chicago Bulls. Jacob, Garrett, I ask you guys, who's the best team in the NBA and why?
I am going with those aforementioned Chicago Bulls. Why? One word, fun. They are fun to watch. I love the Chicago Bulls team, man. They are like Lob City 2.0. They are built with that team. You got DeMar DeRozan, you got Lonzo Ball, you got Zach LaVine, you got Alex Caruso. Who doesn't love a little Alex Caruso? You got some Nikola Vucevic. You got a lot of good role players on this team. This is the type of team that typically are built to win those championships. Like we see these teams that are just filled with star players like the Lakers, like the Clippers, like the Bucks. This is the type of team. They don't have a set star. They just have guys that are good.
They just have guys that mesh together
Exactly.
really well.
They have these group of players that have all played capable. We're seeing it. These guys are gelling as if they've been playing forever, these guys. I mean, they've been really, really good. This is the team that I'm looking at as potentially coming out of the East. The East isn't super strong. This could be the team that rolls through that Eastern Conference playoffs and potentially meets one of those aforementioned Laker or Golden State teams in the championship.
Garrett,
I would like to say it's the Golden State Warriors. Considering they have an 11-2 record, they're blowing out the Nets. I believe the game's over right now. This is has to. But this is without Klay Thompson and James Wiseman. And what Steph Curry is doing right now is remarkable. He's putting up another MVP season, considering there's Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, and a bunch of other players who've been holding down the fort. And until Klay Thompson and the rest of some of those guys have been injured, come back, it's going to be very exciting to see how Warriors factor into this Western Conference race, because you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got all those teams in the West that, you know what, they have a lot of superstars, but they just don't click. The Lakers, for example, was just a complete mess. But the Warriors, they don't have everyone now, but once they have everyone, they're going to go from good to great.
I feel like we'd look really smart if the finals were Bulls, Warriors come June. I hope so. Hopefully we'll still have a show by then.
It's really interesting how that Warriors are able to be on top with really only Stephen Curry as an elite scorer. But we'll move on from that, because on to our next topic. In your opinion, guys, what team has had the most dramatic change over the offseason? Garrett, I'll start with you on this one.
Well, I'm going to steal Jacob's Chicago Bulls as most dramatic change. Jacob said this already. You had Zach LaVine, or actually Zach LaVine was already there, but you had Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso. There's a swagger with this team. DeMar DeRozan. This Chicago Bulls team it feels complete. They got Vucevic, who's going to be a big body, and then I think Lonzo improved his shot so well.
Yeah.
It's remarkable, considering that he went from this to becoming a great sharpshooter from the three-point range. There was a lot of questions about DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Their playing styles are a little bit similar. They like to shoot from mid-range. They like to get into the paint, get physical. But we're seeing everyone pull their own weight, and it's exciting to see this dramatic change. They were horrible last year. They're going to be great this year.
Yeah, Lonzo's looking like he's almost CP3 now.
He's looking like everything his dad said he was going to be now, which is great.
Maybe LeVar was the prophet.
Right.
Maybe LeVar was right, and none of us decided to listen. But Jacob.
Yeah, my team. I thought you were going to steal my team for this. I got to pick the Philadelphia 76ers because this team frustrates me as a Sixers fan. And I know they didn't really change much on paper, but in my head, they changed from, hey, look at us, we're a good team, to, oh my God, what's going on? Everybody get out of the pool. Because this team is just a mess. They're 8-6. I wrote down on my paper, Garrett, I aforementioned this to you earlier.
Yes.
They are the equivalent of a toddler that is too scared to pull out their loose tooth despite it hanging on by a literal thread. That is how Sixers GM is looking at the team, just getting ready to rebuild. Why even keep trying? They're clearly not the best team in the East anymore. They were a few years ago. Now they're not. I just think let's get rid of just everybody. I mean, it's at this point, as a Sixers fan, it's a struggle to watch. You just got to come up with some sort of answer to this.
Yeah, I actually want to pose to you, who is that tooth? Is it Ben Simmons? Is Ben Simmons that tooth that just won't come out?
It's got to be. I think so.
Ben Simmons has got to go.
I think Ben Simmons has got to be out of there.
Ben Simmons now.
He's doing more damage to the team than anybody could have imagined when he got there.
Oh, without doubt.
Oh. But that does it for our coverage of the NBA. And hey, let's brighten the mood a bit because I think we all know what time it is now. It's time to kick it with Kyle.
Welcome back to everybody's favorite part of their Tuesday. It's time for Kicking It with Kyle, where I give you the rundown of last week's latest college football and NHL action. Starting off the night, we'll start it out in the ACC where we had an interstate matchup with Wake Forest and NC State. Both quarterbacks having some severe trouble through the air as combined 5 interceptions were thrown. This was just a hiccup for NC State's Devin Leary, though, bombing 408 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air, but opposing quarterback 1, Sam Hartman, with 4 TDs as NC State falls just short of the comeback, 45-42. Now down in Texas, upset alert was in full effect for yet another week as the Baylor Bears knock off the Oklahoma Sooners, whose CFB playoff hopes were, well, soon to be crushed. Caleb Williams with a poor performance, allowing Spencer Rattler to make another case for starter, but it would not hold out as they get crushed 27-14 and Rattler finds himself on the pine yet again. Moving on to the nation's capital, where the Capitals hosted the division rivals, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Caps were controlling this one from the start as Alex Ovechkin and former Penguin Daniel Sprong lead the way to the 6-1 win, with the Caps having 6 players having a 2-point game and 3 former Penguins in the game as well, on the Capital side, of course. We end the night off in Tampa, though, where back-to-back Cup champions took on the Islanders, and the 8-3 Lightning, they had no problem taking on a 2-1 lead right in the start and expanding on it to 4-1 to get the win, with key contributions from Braden Point's goal and assist, along with Victor Hedman's 2 assists. But it wasn't all bad for the Islanders fans, though, as here Matt Barzal shelves a filthy breakaway goal, claiming the dignity of Andrei Vasilevsky as he pulls it backhand, shelves it, but that does not end in a win.
Hey, great stuff as always, Kyle, because coming right up after the break, it's the second installment of Spin the Wheel, Make a Deal with some modifications. You do not want to miss this.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis. CF is a genetic disease that shortens lives. When the foundation was founded in 1955, children with CF rarely live long enough to attend kindergarten. Today, thanks to the foundation's groundbreaking research, advocacy, and care, some people with CF are attending college, getting married, and starting families. We've made amazing progress, but until a cure is found for all people with CF, we will not stop. Help us add tomorrows. Visit cff.org today.
Is there a danger hiding in your home? Unused opioid medicines could harm your family. Find your unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups and learn how to dispose of them safely at fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to the fastest moving 30 minutes in all sports talk. And boys, it's time for the second installment of Spin the Wheel, Make a Deal. So for those of you who are new to this is how this works. This time, all 3 of us will be making our predictions on 5 randomly chosen NFL and NBA games. Neither of us know what teams the other participants are choosing, so selections are made at random. After we have all made our selections, we will spin the wheel of misfortune, and this time, the person who has the most predictions correct will be safe, and the other 2 contestants will compete in a 1v1 basketball matchup that will be pre-recorded and shown on the show. And they will have to later complete that punishment live during the season finale of Sports Talk. Gentlemen, are you ready? Let's waste not any more time. Let's get straight into our first game, Bengals-Raiders. I'll start things off by saying Raiders, and my reason, because I like to live life dangerously.
I'm going with the Bengals, and it's because Joe Burrow.
I go Raiders, Derek Carr.
Ooh, there you go. So we've already got...
Bro, he looks like Sid from Toy Story.
At least we've already got one prediction going. Then we've got Bills versus Saints. I'm going Bills.
I'm going Bills. What's your adjective?
Oh, my adjective? If it wasn't a punishment, I'd pick the Saints.
Bills, lack of consistency.
Ooh.
Bills Mafia. How about that?
Oh, all right. How about that? Woo-wee.
Woo-wee.
Rams, Packers. I'm going Rams because it's the Rams.
Packers, Aaron Rodgers.
Rams, OBJ.
Oh. Then we got the old-fashioned rivalry, Lakers versus Celtics. I'm going Lakers because of LeBron.
Lakers, because I don't trust the Celtics.
I will say Lakers because LeGoat.
Oh, don't even get me started. Garrett, don't get me started on this.
King Goat.
Don't get me. No.
And the Lakers historically are the better team, as I know this was a nice little throwback to the past, but I'm going Lakers for that one. Final prediction of the day, guys. Hawks versus Knicks. I'm going Hawks because Trae Young is going to ask New York the magic question again. Who's your daddy, New York?
Well, I'm going with the Knicks because the only thing that's going to be leaving the stadium faster than Trae Young's hairline is the Hawks.
Wow, we don't throw shade on this show. Go ahead.
You just did.
Go ahead. You say yours.
You literally
say
just
yours.
did.
Get to the wheel, Garrett.
I'm going with the Hawks simply because Trae Young is going to show who's their dad.
All right, well, let's get into the wheel. Let's get a nice little close-up of this wheel over there. There it is. Run through some of the new ones. We got a few new ones. We got Cruz Choice making its return again. Bananarama, I just switched up the pun. We're still going to be down in some banana peels here. Jersey swap. This one's a nightmare for all of us. If me or Garrett lose, we have to wear a Yankee jersey on air. Kyle would have to wear a Red Sox jersey if he loses. Sing me a song. Once again, just switched up the nice little phrases. That's just going to be out in public. We got to sing a song to allow us. And I mistimed out this wheel, so we're going to go all the way back down here. For breath of fresh hair, dye our hair. This one's my favorite. Spider-Man. We're going to have to walk dressed up as Spider-Man, walk from length to length on campus. Dressed as Spider-Man, performing friendly neighborhood tasks. We're going to be helping some people out. We're going to be doing some parkour. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll pre-record it, have that live here on the show. So, gentlemen, are we ready?
Spin that wheel, baby.
I'm excited because I actually get to be involved in this time.
Garrett,
So, here we
a little bit.
go. Wheel.
Please be
wheel,
Spider-Man.
Wheel.
Please.
Spider-Man. Yeah!
Spider-Man! Wow!
That was the most exciting thing that's ever happened in my whole entire life. So that means we will be, in 2 weeks' time, we are going to show up with a pre-recorded video of one of us with our Spider-Man suit on, walking around campus, performing some neighborhood tasks. That's going to be fun. We're going to have that punishment recorded on air. We're going to have the basketball game recorded on air. So make sure to stay tuned to all of our social medias. We'll be updating you guys with some brand new updates on who's currently in the lead, who's going to be facing that punishment, because it's going to be a little bit of a long time before we run into each other again.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say I've been horrible at predictions. I'm not great at basketball.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be Spider-Man. I mean, I'm cool with that.
I'm okay with, honestly, I'm cool with throwing things a bit just to be Spider-Man. I think that's going to be fun.
I'm fine if I actually lose this one, unlike last week, but I don't plan on it, though.
Yeah.
So.
And Garrett, we robbed you of your bye week because for those of you that did not tune in last week, this man drank spoiled milk or something.
It was a smoothie that's been sitting around for a long time. We had
self-inflicted.
It was self-inflicted.
Inflicted.
Hot cocoa mix, sugar, relish.
Yeah. We would have added relish, but we
were going to add relish.
It was not my fault.
It was his fault. But so Garrett, we owe you a bye week. So when we get back, we're talking way now into the future.
Way
back.
back.
When we get back, Garrett will now be he'll be immune. But nobody's safe this week, guys, because we've got basketball to be played. And you know what? Honestly, if I'm running through my mindset, I think I have a good set because there's no way Garrett's better than me at basketball. I'm just gonna say that right now. And I think if you're a question mark, I'm not sure about you. You might be sneaky athletic.
Don't sleep on it.
I'm a bit curious.
Don't sleep on it.
But hey guys, it's been a blast. I can't believe we're almost done with this first season. It's gonna be
season 1 in the
I think I might
already.
shed some tears here coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm really bad at basketball right now, but I might pull off some nice moves.
Yeah, all right, okay.
We're gonna catch it on film.
Hey, before we leave, I want to make something known because this is something that needs to be put out into the universe with the new Spider-Man trailer going live today. This right here is nothing but fact. Tom Holland is greater than Andrew Garfield, not just as Spider-Man, but in everything he's ever done. There's nothing that Andrew Garfield has done better. He's not even better looking than Tom Holland. Yeah, I said it. Come at me in the chat. Because that does it for this week's episode of Sports Talk. We won't be live next week. So for Garrett, Kyle, our director Brian, and our entire crew inside the WTOP 10 studio, this is Jacob saying, have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you 2 weeks from now in the Season 1 finale of Sports Talk. Enjoy the rest of your night.